Cute. Okay, let's do the intro. Continue driving, as opposed to stopping, I suppose. All right. Let's read this note. Let's not read this note. Let's read this report. Let's not read this report. Can we stop the car? Stop the world! I want to get off. Not like that. I don't know what the controls are. And now I've crashed and died. Huzzah!
This evidence belongs to the police department of Northprey. Unauthorized leaf production or distribution is illegal. 1990. The police department of Northprey received a call from the guest at the Blue Mountain Motel that a person was murdered. 3 police officers were sent out to investigate the incident. Police officer went missing shortly after arriving at the motel. Last known location, Northprey Forest.
Indeed. Right. That's what I was supposed to show you before we got on with the game, but pressing any key skips this, and I was busy turning the recording on rather than listening, which was dumb of me. Right then. I still don't know what the controls are. Let's have another go with the intro, and let's see if I can possibly get anything running. So yes, as that intro alluded to, I'm that girl from The Exorcist, and I can spin my head around 360 degrees like a top, which is exciting. We are apparently a policeman who is joining in a search party to track down a killer, which is all very exciting, but apparently things aren't going to go the way that they're supposed to, which is not very surprising. Alright then. I'm clicking, and I can't play this tape.
You are about to join a search party. The goal is to track down the person behind the 3 homicides that happened at the Route 89 motel. Police officers have permission to use firearms if necessary. The Northprey Forest is under lockdown. Civilians must be escorted back to the city. 3 teams are responsible for the track down of the suspect. The motel team is working around the Route 89 motel. Investigators are already analyzing the area of the motel. The most recent homicide happened at 1990 February 2nd. South and West team are working around the Northprey Forest. Progression is slow due to the size of the area. If the search party couldn't find any liable evidence or any member of the search party gets injured or disappeared, the search party will be shut down.
That's so very sad. Okay, so it's E to read these things, which I didn't realise because I have the intellectual capacity of a pumpkin. Tell Daniel that a guy came in here today and said there is a small cabin on the west side of the forest where a person still lives. Heard some noises around there. Tear that place apart. Come back with something useful. Alright. I'm sure Daniel is the best source of information we've got around here. Can I read this? Right. It's the man in a big coat with a piglet for a head. Name, weight and age unknown with a very large error interval for a height. The police department of Northprey closes down the Northprey forest for safety precautions. A search party has been organised to track down the disappeared officer. Only PDN officers or search party members may enter the forest. The information written down is from eyewitnesses. The PDN never encountered the subject. The suspect has been active at the area of Northprey Forest and the Route 89 motel. The photograph shown above was taken by a witness at the motel, who presumably was taking it with a potato. Brilliant. The suspect has shown highly aggressive behaviour. I've yet to meet someone that can perform a triple homicide without being highly aggressive. His face is usually covered by a pig mask. Different kinds of eyewitnesses report the suspect's weapon is a kitchen knife and a fire axe, usually wearing a shirt and a black apron. What is it with people who take on a pig motif and wanting to look like a butcher? Like, surely you want to be one or you want to be the other. You don't want to be both, otherwise you'd have to kill yourself, which, you know, where I come from is generally not what serial killers tend to do. At least not until the end. Different kinds of eyewitnesses have reported. The suspect... Oh no, we've already read that. What am I doing? I'm reading stuff twice. One eyewitness saw the suspect with a bulletproof vest. That means my gun isn't going to work. The suspect has been trying to open motel doors and staring into windows of the motel like a creepy person. 3 homicides are connected with the suspect. The PDN must use firearms to take down the subject if it is not cooperative with officers. I would just state that if he's murdering people and he's 5'9", he's probably a bloke rather than a woman, but never mind. I guess we shouldn't pay him the dignity of calling him a him and we'll call him an it instead. Never mind. If a civilian encounters a person with the correct description mentioned above, flee the area! Indeed. How does this change? Okay, that just makes it slightly easier to read. Okay, amazingly, we haven't had a crash. Now, if I click on this, what happens? Nothing. How do I... Will this finish on its own? Or do I have to, like, go back to the menu and, like, go on to the next bits of the game? I have no idea. None at all. I just know that I have an itchy eyebrow, and now I've made the mouse appear on the screen, which was a little unexpected. How did I do this before? What did I do before that, did this? I suppose, yes. This is where we have the car accident and die. Alright. One presumes that, this next scene where we wake up is the main bit of the game, and that's just there to give you a wee bit of information. And presumably it doesn't end, just for the sake of giving you as much time as you'd like to read it. Right, ho. Do I have a light? Yes, I do. And I have been kept in this very drafty prison cell, which isn't very nice. Where am I? Nowhere good, is the long and the short of it. The door is locked. Oh, fiddlesticks. Is this a basement key? Oh. How exciting. Picked up the basement key. Thank you, key-dropping fairy. I appreciate it. Idiot. Distant cousin of the tooth fairy, one presumes. Alright then, so let's see what happens and what we can find. My flashlight does next to nothing, but I suppose I'll keep it. Better than nothing, at least until I find out it's using batteries. Here we have a television. Can I sit down and watch a episode of Morse? Just white noise. No, it's definitely not Morse. Here there's a clock. This clock is okay, according to me, and I'm pressing E and not much is happening. Okay, so we can turn this round in order to select a certain time. That seems fair enough. How do I leave? Okay, there we go, like that. Presumably I need to find the correct time to put into the clock, and then maybe it will open and I can get an item out of it or something like that. Squeeze in! Oh, alright. I must have been laying off the donuts if I can get through here. What can we find on the far side? We can find a madam. Hello, madam. I hope you're alright. Sorry. Let me position myself in such a manner I'm not staring at your patoot. I hid his key under my bed. I don't know what it opens. Thank you. Can I see under there somehow? Well, control and crouch aren't doing anything. Aha! I've picked up a key. Thank you, madam. Yeah, very helpful. Okay then. Well, that's presumably not for the clock. That must be for something else. Maybe for this door on the right hand side here? Possibly. I don't know whether that required a key or not. What does this say? Reporting officer Daniel Ross. Was that the Daniel that was written about before? The police department of Northprey received a call from a guest at the Route 89 motel that a person had been murdered. 3 police officers were sent out to investigate the homicide and arrived at the scene at 3:30 a.m. Well, there's a time we could put on the clock. The victim, Elizabeth Way, was found with six stab wounds in the chest, not with sticks in her chest, with 6 stab wounds in her chest. Suspects of the homicide saw a man running into a nearby forest. A police officer went to investigate the forest and is missing. A search party will be organised if the officer does not show up after 12 hours of his disappearance. Do you people not have radios that you can just call each other on in order to find out whether they're alright or not? Presumably not. Alright, I don't know when this is set. Well, 1990. I'm pretty sure we had walkie-talkies in 1990, but what do I know? Okay, let's go for 3:30 then. Huzzah! Now, how exactly did that help my situation? Other than give me something to listen to, I suppose. This is still just white noise. Something must have changed. I can't see anything out here in the infinite void of inkiness. Let me see if anything changed back in my prison cell. It would say not. So that makes me wonder who I am. Am I the police officer that was in the search party that we saw at the beginning? This was not here before. Or am I the officer that went missing? Because it seems like I'm in enough of a pickle to be an officer that's gone missing and gone captured by this serial killer type. This piggly wiggly person. But, this piggly wiggly gaming enthusiast untidy person. But, I was under the impression we played as the officer in the search party. But presumably I stand corrected. Can we play a video game? Winners don't use drugs. But I can't even play the game. I can play the game. What can I do? What the hell? Hello? Well, this is unique. So I'm playing as the night, am I? Giddy aunt. I am the night. I am the darkness. I am very confused because I can't see a thing. What does the info say? Escort the brave knight through a dangerous maze. Indeed. Hold the right mouse button to bring light to the darkness. That helps a little bit. Maybe. If you're not entirely sure what something helpful would be in the scenario, and you're very easily convinced that anything is what I say it is, this is the way that I've come with the kitty aunt. You wouldn't have thought only having 4 90-degree angles that I could take would make this so confusing, but somehow it does seem to, and I always seem to end up back at the same place. Goodness, this is very difficult to see what I'm doing. I reckon I've walked myself into yet another dead end, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I've just made my way straight back to where I was before, which is great. What's that? Did you see that? Look, there was a figure there for a minute. What's this? It's a coat of arms. I think it's the symbol of the police department that we can see on the other screen there. Alright, let's continue to wander about for a bit and see if we can find anything else of interest. The hell was that? There's another symbol here. Oh, hello again. Giddy on you and your moonwalking. What was that noise I heard? That must have been something of significance, surely. I can't have just been a random noise. I don't even know which way I'm looking. I wasn't expecting to be playing a game with very, very restrictive controls. But does this? Yeah, this leads you past the window again, doesn't it? You know what, Mr. Mate, Mr. I've got rollerblades on the underside of my feet. Oh, alright. There must be something of importance. Like he needs to find like a pressure plate or something and stand on it so that I can open up something. I don't know. It is the finally, right. Excuse me a moment. Let's have a wee picture at that. There we go. Right then. Giddy on, it is a maze. No wonder I had so much trouble with them. Can I have this axe? No. Can I have this driver's license? That of Daniel Ross. He looks like a nice man. Okay then, that's interesting. So Daniel Ross has been here as well. Lending him a hand, it seems. Lending him a hand with murdering me for telling a dreadful, dreadful joke. Alright then. Let's see if we can do this a bit more effectively. Alright then, so let's see. He's currently facing that way. So we go along here, and then we turn left. And then we go all the way up to the far end of this corridor, which is there. And then we come back and go down the Yeah, go down that pathway there. Go all the way to the end, turn right, go all the way to the end, turn left, go all the way to the end, turn left, and left again, and pick it up with my breastplate. Right then, excellent. Let me see if I can now work my way back without getting myself killed. Did it say something about this maze being dangerous? That was the wrong button to press, old boy. Yes. It's dangerous because it makes you sneeze and do a jump cut. I do apologise for that. Now I've lost where I was. Never mind. I don't actually encountered any dangers in here, but never mind. Let's poke myself up to here and have this key. Oh, you look adorable. I rather like that. That was rather unique and interesting. I don't think the technology existed in 1990 for an arcade machine to broadcast a radio signal to this animatronic for the sake of moving it around enough, but ow, my face. Do you mind? I'm a police officer and everything. I need my face for stuff and things like arresting people. Do you mind? Goodness sake. These doors just have no sense of politeness, do they? It's locked. Yes, it is locked. I rather like that actually. Simple and little, but quite fun and quite unique. So the basement. Yes, presumably that's where we've just got to. I like this. I like how when everything's safe, the tape is relatively clean, but then when you get into the dangerous place, you encounter all of the blood, and then there's a nice big north here for a bit of murdering to happen, which is exciting. Interestingly, this is in 1993, so this must be much later, implying that they don't catch the killer in 1990 and that the murders continue, which is all very exciting. Good to know there's no end to the murder that we get to enjoy. Right then, with our audio settings, there were audio settings. I should have bumped those through the ceiling when we began, because all of that audio was very quiet. I'm going to have to do some work in editing to try and get the voices on the radio to be a little bit louder so that you can actually hear them a bit better. But I rather enjoyed that. As I said, it was relatively simple, but I liked the unique mechanic with the knight. I think that was quite cute, and it's building up a little bit of an intriguing story. And it's always nice when we have a bad guy that's a piggly wiggly person. So yeah, that's quite nice. I rather enjoyed that, and I hope you did as well. The following evidence is for the Department of Federal Homicides, Utah. Presumably, Utah? No copy should be made of this evidence tape under section blah blah blah. Fraudulent activity with any evidence can result in a fine of and or $17,000 or 3 years in federal jail. I feel like interfering with a homicide investigation merits a bit more than 17 grand's worth of fine, but what do I know? The following footage you're about to witness is a true and ongoing case. On the 9th of July, 1991, Officer M. Andrews was found brutally murdered at Miller and Son slaughterhouse. Forensics predict he was killed with a 13-inch butcher knife, once used at the now abandoned slaughterhouse. Indeed. So yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a game called Lights, Camera, Slaughter. Or rather a demo for a thing with said name. Which was sold to me as involving sort of slasher themes and VHS tapes, which are a favourite genre of mine, so I thought we'd see what we can find. I hate working the night shift here. There's never any 911 calls this late. Everyone's gone back home, so I'm all alone. I mean, seriously, last night I got a call from Mrs. Jenkins about her cat on a tree. Some people have no lives, just like nerds who play video games. What about nerds who make video games and write sentences of dialogue for them, Well, that's enough complaining. I should get myself a water and start my shift. It's going to be a long night. I can interact with objects using E and walk with WAS. I don't know how I'm going to receive any 911 calls given I don't even have a phone, but never mind. Alright, can I have my water, please? Get a cup of water? Yes, please. Ah, excellent. I just thought it into being with my brain. Good. I have my water. Alright, now go to work. Yes, I may. Good, right. I should confess that this is actually the second time I'm playing this, because I started playing this about 6 or 7 minutes ago, and I got stuck on the door, because I went to go through the door, and it said you need to get water first, and then I couldn't get out of the screen and couldn't interact with the water fountain. So, Now we're into stuff which is new for both of us, so isn't that lovely? Now that I have my drink, I can start taking some 911 calls that come in. I just need to find a desk with a red phone. This will let me take any incoming calls. Alrighty then. So, am I Officer Andrews, or not? Giddy. Sorry, just being reminded of the technology that was available back in the early 90s. It was a hell of a thing. Alrighty then, here is the red phone of destiny. Allow me to sit my bum down. I can use this computer and phone to take calls. Indeed. Sit down and take calls? Yes, please. I feel like there should already be somebody here doing this. Like, they shouldn't be, people shouldn't be on hold listening to music while people attempt to burgle their houses and murder them, but never mind. I can answer the phone by looking at it and pressing E. Once I've answered the phone, I can ask multiple questions. I need to get as much information as possible. Oh, I actually need to contribute to this? I thought we were just going to be like running away from a murderous slasher person. Okay. Apparently I need to actually use my brain, which is going to be a bit difficult. Alright. Hello? Please help. I need the fire department. Where are you? We shall send fire people. I'm at Danny's bar. Oh, idiot. Did you call 911 for a pickup line? Wait, do people actually do it? People have literally so little respect for 911 answering people who can swivel their heads like a top. Or like that kid from The Exorcist. Alright. Hopefully this is a bit more serious. Hello? Hello? Who's this? Hello? Are you safe? I'll take that as a no. Presumably a prank call, or just somebody with even worse social communicating skills than mine. Which is saying something. Well, third time's a charm. Hello, I need to report a disturbance. What is going on? 4 kids are trespassing at the Miller & Son slaughterhouse. Can you see them? They just went in. I can hear screams. Please hurry. We'll send the police immediately. They're arriving now, sir. That was very quick work, I must say. Where did my phone go? Why did my phone blow up? Kitty on. Never mind. On July 2nd, 1990, Officer M. Miller would go missing whilst on duty at Masterson Lake area. His last known whereabouts were Miller & Son slaughterhouse, just north of Masterson Lake. Although his body was never found, it was too mutilated and outright horrific to identify at the time. Specialists say he was hacked with a butcher's knife with tremendous force. Indeed. So, presumably I'm the sort of, the operator, if you like, that's then dispatched, Officer Andrews to the slaughterhouse. He was responding to a dispatch call of a disturbance at the slaughterhouse, although dispatch lost all contact with Andrews after responding to this call, mainly because their phone blew up, but don't worry about that. It was believed that he was taken and killed whilst inside the slaughterhouse, however only Andrews knows the full story. Except he doesn't because he's likely dead, and dead men don't tend to know very many things. Right then, this is me. This is Andrews. I have arrived at the scene now. There is no sign of anyone here. Indeed, Mr. Jenkins said I don't remember him actually announcing his name on the phone, but never mind. Said he saw 4 kids enter the slaughterhouse, probably some rave again. I will look for clues on and away into the building and let you know what I see. Good, good, good. Pass my best wishes to your wife. How long has she got? I'm sorry. What? I'm visiting a hospital tonight. Oh, you literally mean she's about to die? That's a bit miserable. Alright. I was expecting to see some college kids get stabbed with a knife. I wasn't expecting to have my feels tucked on. Why don't we leave immediately? We've got bigger things to deal with than getting stabbed with a 13-inch knife. Oh, just a police radio going off in the car. That's a nice little, touch. Alright, is this Mr. Jenkins' car, perhaps? This must be their car. The hood is warm to the touch, and the motor starter is still clicking. Ah, cars from the 90s. They must have arrived within the last hour or so. Hell, for all I know, cars still have starter motors or whatever it was they were talking about. I don't know. Can I go through here? I think I can. I can do sneaking. Okay, are these? Yeah, these are barrels. So I thought they were tree trunks at first, but no. Those are the trees. Got myself all muddled, so I did. Alright, here is a toilet, which is convenient if you need to relieve yourself mid-rave and don't wish to go particularly far. So when you say a slaughterhouse, do you mean like a place where they were sort of butchering animals for meat processing and things like that? I interact with this. This car is completely abandoned. All 4 wheels are burst and rust is seeping from the hood. Okay, then that's probably about as about as old and abandoned as the slaughterhouse itself, one presumes. Alright then, what could possibly go wrong? Kitty Hunt. I really need to stop drinking quite so much, don't I? Never mind. Do I have a light or anything? Pressing F doesn't seem to do anything, so I presume the answer to that question is no. Dispatch, can you hear me? I need to go back outside to get signal. I'm gonna guess the door is locked now. I came through a one-way door. I need to find an exit and call for backup. I can use space to turn off my flashlight and shift to sprint away from any danger. Okay then, that's a bit better. Let's see what we're doing now. Right. Not to be a broken record or anything, we could chuck ourselves through a window in order to get out of this. What do you mean by a one-way door? I've never found a one-way door in my whole life. One-way streets, yes, but not one-way door. Normally if you can walk one way through a door, you can usually walk the other way as well. Alright, here is another bathroom. There doesn't seem to be anything... No, I stand corrected. There is something truly horrific in here. There's also a surprising amount of paper left over, which surprises me. I hear somebody trotting around out here. Giddy on this loud. It is locked from the other side. Well, it is a bathroom, so perhaps it shouldn't surprise us. This is also locked from the other side. It's a very loud lock. You could shake the door gently. This door is missing its handle. I should try and find it. Oh. Okay, I need to get a handle on the situation, do I? Alright, fair enough. Should we wander around and see if we can find that? I don't know. Is it just going to be like hanging around in a bin or something? Surely not. Let me have a quick look in here. Now that I know what I'm looking for. See if we can find any bits of door furniture, I believe is the phrase. At least I know handles on windows are apparently referred to as window furniture. So perhaps the same is true of doors and their handles as well. I don't know. Alright, let's continue this way. Is this the way we came before? Oh, this is also locked with its most auditorily present lock. So I think we've been everywhere, but I'm not seeing a handle anywhere. Can I try with this, can I? It looks like some sort of fuse box. I cannot open it though. It's too rusty. Alright then. So with some of these things, like the fuse box in the abandoned car, they're just like contextual things in order to give me a bit more detail on the environment, rather than actual things I need to be overly concerned about, because I can't interact with this one. But, yeah, the fuse box, it wasn't saying anything like I could get this open if I got hold of like a crowbar or something. So, that perhaps leads me to conclude that I don't need to worry about faffing around with it. The windows are too small for me to climb through. He must be quite a portly gentleman, but never mind. It's not for me to judge. Where under the sun is it? Ow, my ears. My ears. Because I can't find the handle anywhere. It must be in here, surely. Just some dirty old mirrors. Indeed. Which certainly aren't helping me see this situation. Well, let me reflect on my adventures and reflect on my failures in order to figure out where under the sun this handle is. Seriously, these textures are seriously hurting my eyes. Where under the sun is the handle? The smell coming from this toilet is horrendous. Search inside the toilet. Oh, this is where I find the handle? I don't know what happened. I think I've died of some kind of horrific disease. I find nothing apart from a severely reduced level of self-respect. Other than that, yes, I know it's horrendous, mate. I just need you to have a look inside. Giddy on. I hope police officers in this state need to wear some kind of gloves, or at least get equipped with trowels or something. Oh, giddy on. That's a little odd that you would have to search inside the toilet for the door handle. That seems... I don't know. I found a door handle. I just need to find the door with the missing handle. We already found it earlier, mate, and the dialogue implies that I was supposed to go rummaging through the toilets when I had no reason to do that. I don't know what this developer takes me for, but they take me for something pretty weird if I'm going to go rummaging around in toilets for no particularly well-defined reason. Okay, never mind any of that. Let's just put the door handle on this door and go through it before anything else horrific happens. Okay, some sort of admin room, one presumes. It is a large pile of notes. Read the notes, indeed. The 19th of the 3rd month, which, goodness only knows what that is, probably March, of 1984. Employee meeting. I had a meeting with George Miller today, who, the famous pianist, regarding his strange behaviour around the animal carcasses. Probably not the famous pianist. He has a strange fascination with the dead and was caught taking photos, which is strictly prohibited. He didn't speak throughout the whole meeting, which isn't surprising knowing George. He's always been quiet, but did a good day's work. I'm starting to worry about him a little. I think more than a little would be merited, mate, given this guy seems to have some sort of carcass fetish, which is a bit weird. Oh, this is the same thing. Oh, why are there multiple copies of this? Did this memo get distributed throughout the whole office? Can I open this? Oh, giddy, yes, I can. I can go through this little tube. Alright. Fair enough. I can't sprint. While I'm in here. I can just get slightly scared by a fan. But never mind. That's what happens when people jump out in the street and ask for an autograph. But never mind. Incredibly bad joke to one side. Let's move very swiftly on. Or shuffle very not so swiftly on, perhaps I should say, given our current speed of progression, and see what we can find. I feel like climbing through the vents is a bit more than, you know, the Call of Duty when it comes to an officer investigating a couple of trespassing children. It is a note here. What does this say? It is an old note. Read it? Yes, please. Journal entry for June 1986. Georgie has been acting strange lately. His fascination with dead animals is becoming quite concerning. The look at his face when he kills the cattle is disturbing. I don't know who he is anymore. Ever since his mother passed, he's becoming more and more encapsulated and withheld. I'm going to have a chat with him tomorrow. Maybe he just needs a chat from an old friend, Ryder. Alright. When you say he pulls a funny face, what sort of face is he pulling exactly when this happens? Is this like a face of pleasure, or like a face of fun, or just a face of being freaked out? I don't know, but we'll just move very swiftly on. I think. What am I even looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the corner of a wall. Kitty, aren't these textures so difficult to see? Man alive. There was a period in movies where if you wanted to give the impression that like somebody was drunk or on drugs, you would do this kind of thing, and that's what it's reminding me of. Okay, then, can I go through other vents? No? Oh, alright then. That somehow doesn't surprise me. Okay, can I turn this? It is a red valve wheel. It is jammed in the on position. Alright, perhaps I'll find some earmuffs. I can continue to play this game. There is a sign attached to the door. Read it. This will be the last you hear from me, a flickering candle on the table, a golden tear. There is only panic. Blighted, I beg for forgiveness, he who lives. What are you whittering on about? Okay, is there a valve missing from here? Yeah, okay, so we need to find some lubricant for that first valve and also find a second valve for the second pipe. Okay, that seems perfectly straightforward. Giddy heart. Let's just sincerely hope that we don't find the valve in the toilet. You know what I've also just realised? I'm glad this door was unlocked. I've also just realised the fact that the handle was in the toilet implied that somebody swallowed the handle at some point and then it went entirely through their digestive tract and probably killed them on the way out. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh goodness, some numbers. I shall probably write those down. Good thing I have a piece of paper to hand. So what is that, 1631, I think? Yeah. I was trying to see whether the bloodstain was perhaps tricking me into thinking it was a 6 and really it was an 8 or something, but I don't think it is. I don't think that is the case. I don't know what all these mattresses are doing here. Oh, there's another valve here. Hooray. It is a valve wheel. Yes. Pick up red valve wheel? Yes, it is. And more fuse boxes that I can't interact with. Alright, I do find myself wondering why they painted this on in fluorescent paint, but at least they're not painting it on blood, which I suppose is something to be grateful for. We must be grateful for small mercies. Because goodness knows in places like this, the mercies are small, if they come at all. So, I can't go this way. Presumably I do want some sort of oil in order to get the first valve working. Otherwise, I'm only going to be able to turn off half of the steam or whatever it is that's blocking my path. And, that's probably not going to be enough. But let me see what I can do with this one. Yes. Oh, that's it. You didn't put the valve on? Yes, I know. Don't turn it back on. Okay, never mind. The developer clearly didn't plan on someone doing that. I didn't plan on somebody as stupid as me playing that game. Okay, fair enough. That's a reasonable assumption to make, to be quite frank. Okay, so the first valve wasn't necessary then. It was perhaps just to tell you that there can be valves on these pipes. And that they're red, presumably, to give you an idea of what to look for. Alright, I can understand that. Okay, now we're going to have to slip through the little gaps. Oh, giddy aunt. We'll slip through the quite large gaps, actually, but never mind. What's this? This is an elevator. Oh, I need code. Let me see. The first one didn't go in, did it? Or did it? Maybe, or maybe not. I've no idea, to be quite frank. I just started sort of clicking buttons at random. Oh, some tools! I could use these for fighting back against the murderer. Is there any more? Oh, there isn't! Oh, this is a happy day for me, indeed. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. This reminds me of certain buildings in Fallout 4. They have the little cages erected within the buildings for the doing of mischief. Oh, wonderful mischief. So much mischief happening in this run. I do not feel safe here. What is this? This is a circular saw. See if it's come straight out of a pit, to keep with the Fallout references for 5 seconds. I'm not taking this with me. I suppose at the moment I still kind of think I'm looking for some random kids rather than a serial killer. But, you know, I happen to know in a slasher and, or a Sora, possibly, might be more accurate to describe it as such. But the poor old protagonist isn't aware of that fact yet. Which way is he coming from? He's coming from that one. I was just about to open my fatuous mouth and say that this feels like a maze that could be useful for getting away from a villain. But oh gosh. This was an error in judgment. Hi, friend. It seems... Was that it? Oh, that is it. Oh, okay. That's all there is at that point? Okay, this is just like a demo, I should emphasise, for the sake of being transparent. That's not the end of the game, that's just the end of the demo. So, yes. That's odd. Rare for a demo to end on a death like that. But I guess they've just made that area into a little bit of a dead end. So that, you've no choice but to die. So that's nice. But, anyway, that was rather nice. I rather liked it. It had a little bit of a slow burn to its horror. Some balancing of the sound is required, I think, in terms of some of the noise. But, maybe I'm just playing with the volume too high. There's no real way to know these things. But, yeah, I quite liked it. I like that it's a little bit unusual and bizarre in like contexts that generally aren't seen, like slaughterhouses and things like that. Yeah, I like the traditional little codes and finding items and things. It's quite nice. I look forward to playing the full thing. Yes, that was it was a lot less slashery than I thought, to be honest, in the sense that the slashing only happened for a few seconds. I'm used to several hours worth of slashing, but never mind. Yes, I rather enjoyed that, and I hope you did as well. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.